Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Event, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Event. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So as you know, we're getting ready to see the end of this baseball season. I'm sick of the World Series, sick of postseason. As you know, the Mets didn't make it, and the Mets have been making a lot of moves the last day or so. They hired Troy, the hell's his name? Troy Snitker, the son of Brian Snitker, to be the hitting coach. I don't know how he's going to be. I know he did a very good job in Houston, although they basically let everybody go in Houston, I guess, to start the offseason because they didn't make the postseason either. And they let go Antoine Richardson. I want to point out something to people. The Mets collapsed, okay? And even though he did a good job, you have to get rid of him too. They couldn't come up with a deal for him to come back here. But at the end of the day, all the stone bases the Mets had, did it really help them win an extra game or two? Not really. Okay, the problem was the pitching. That's what the Mets' problem has been for many years, is who they hire as the pitching coach this offseason will determine where we go from here. Because Jeremy Hefner, in my opinion, was a disaster. He was no good, folks. He was nothing more. And the funny thing is we saw how badly the Mets pitched. And to see the media coming out and defending him over the, after he got let go. Just craziness. Well, this one needs to go, that one needs to go. But you know what, Hefner, he did a good job. Bullshit. When you lead the league in walks, you lead the league in falling behind the count, specifically the last 2 days, when you see guys that have been great pitchers like Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, seem to take a step back from their greatness when they were here. You have to question, and you see Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom in 2020 with Jeremy Hefner as his pitching coach did not win a third Cy Young Award that year. All he had to do was pitch like he had the last 2 years. He had a very good August, if you remember right, and a terrible September. Right? I was totally against this particular hire for a long time. And to see him finally gone is a good thing. But the media sticking up and made no sense. But anyway, just wanted to mention a couple of things. But we're going to go through these trade candidates. Most of them are from SNY. One I added in. Most of them are infielders. We got Jeff McNeil. I think Jeff McNeil's going to be gone. This team has to change the personality of this club. I'm very concerned by this group. They've been together way too long, and they've been doing the same things over and over and over again. And McNeil's been part of that. Just as an aside, Pete Alonso's been part of that core, and Edwin Diaz has been part of that core, and they are free agents. It can go either way with either one of them coming back. Just so you know. But Jeff McNeil's been here a long time. Keep an eye on the Mariners. The Mariners have liked him. They wanted to pick him up in the Edwin Diaz deal many years ago. And he didn't get dealt. He did play rather well for a long time for the Mets. Won the batting title in 2022. Been an okay Met, but really he's too up and down, too inconsistent. You can't figure out what kind of hitter is he. Is he a power hitter? Is he a gap-to-gap hitter? He has power, doesn't have power. Just wants to make contact. He's very peculiar as a hitter. Another infielder, Ryan Mauricio. Where is his role here? Because I'm looking back, and I think I said this at the very end of the season, it was unfair that the Mets had him on that bench. The Mets should have brought in a veteran player to sit on the pine and play. And I thought it wasn't right that he had to play at the very end of the season when he hadn't played much, obviously with Beatty's injury at the end. Very difficult to watch him play and try to get good at bats in. He has no role here. The Mets, we talked about it here. Mets had a lot of depth in their minor league system in terms of infielders and behind the plate and catching. And pitching, all right. Behind the plate and catching, same thing. But Mets have plenty of middle infielders that they can move. Plenty of middle infielders that need to be here next year. Ronnie Mauricio needs to go play in Dominican, play every day. But I think the Mets should think about moving on from him. He has value, we know that, but he needs to play. He didn't play much this year. The Mets never should have had him here as long as they did have him here. Unfair. Mark Vientos. I've been a big supporter of his bat, but he can't play the field, and I think we kind of come to that conclusion. Also, he's a little bit big on himself. I thought that the way he reacted to all the accolades after last season, I thought that kind of came into play with his lack of doing what he needs to do to improve. And I think that's why he struggled considerably, hitting the ball the opposite field, hitting the ball up the middle. And the thing about him is, because he doesn't have position, the Mets should, and they mentioned him as another candidate to be traded. I think they have to consider it. You can't go into next season, well, he's going to be the Mets first baseman if Pete Alonso leaves. It's too many question marks, especially for a team that is spending the money that the Mets are spending. And I expect them to make a big move this offseason, bring in a big pitcher, either through free agency or through a trade, and then sign him. Schoolboy is the player. That's the guy you want to bring in on the pitching staff side. On the positional side, just as an aside, let's have to be smart about who they bring in next. Juan Soto was an easy answer, easy solution, simple solution. You bring in the generational player, the future Hall of Famer. That's easy. Bringing this guy in is easy. But the next moves the Mets make, you've got to bring guys that are tough and know how to win and can win in New York. Brett Baty, this is a guy on my list. He has increased his value. His value is back to where it was when he was in the minor leagues. So you can get a lot for him. But if you trade him and you move Vientos, and you have to get a third baseman. So that's one of the things you have to keep in mind, moving forward with him in particular. Kodai Senga, I've seen him bandied about in the media. The Mets are thinking about moving him. He's got 2 more years on his contract. He doesn't have a lot of money coming to him. I believe it's about $15 million next year and the year after. He's been sort of up and down in terms of his time here with production. When he's injured, he doesn't pitch well. Or even the idea that he's hurt, he's very peculiar about how he pitches, when he pitches. He has to be perfect to do well. That's a major problem. But he doesn't have a lot of money on his contract, so 2 years. Maybe eat some of that money. Now, finally, pitcher on this list, and I wouldn't have a problem moving him because he's been here a long time now, and it's David Peterson, who is left-handed. He was an all-star. He had an excellent season up until August. And he ran out of gas. He pitched really well for a calendar year for the Mets. But the Mets have to think long and hard. Do you want to give him, and he's going to be a free agent after next year. The Mets are going to have to think long and hard. Do you want to give this guy a long-term contract for 5 years? Because he's going to be looking for that. And he's been in the organization a long time. He's going to want his money. Do you move him in a trade for another pitcher? Say, for instance, Siri Skubal. Do you do that? I would do it. I think also the Tigers can kind of massage it with their fans. We brought in a ready-made all-star to pitch. He's left-handed. He's not as good as Skubal, but he is a left-handed pitcher. He's been pitched really well in big games. He's pitched really well for the Mets last year in postseason. And is it something that they can basically justify? And of course, there will be other pieces in that kind of a deal. Or you just move him to get something that you need. Mets need outfielders. They need a center fielder badly here. I think you kind of know that. Peterson is one of these pitchers that he's a quality pitcher. He's going to pitch well. He's tough. He didn't pitch well the last month and a half, and I think a lot of it is because he ran out of gas. He just got tired, got worn down. He had an injury. He hasn't really pitched a full season quite a while, and I thought that's what happened with him. But he would be the centerpiece of a trade with say, for Skubal, or say for, and I'm not big on this myself, Freddie Peralta. Now, they would bring in Freddie Peralta, had to sign a pitcher. A guy like Framber Valdez, and I can justify trading Peterson for what I view as a number 2 starter. Peterson might be his number 3 starter, and Peralta's number 2 star in my view. And you can justify him going there because he's an all-star, like I said. But these are some of the players the Mets could look to trade. I think some of them will be dealt. Jeff McNeil, I'm pretty much sure 100% he's going to get moved. And they'll eat the money, whatever's left on this contract. They'll eat it. Well, thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.